Welcome everybody. Tonight the Sunday Spotlight takes us back to 1995, in the year 2020. Yes, it's Command & Conquer Remastered. Now, it's somewhat cliche to take an old title and give it a modern facelift, but I'm happy to report it's one of the better examples of doing so. They go a lot further than just the visuals and bring the games more in line with a modern RTS, and really, the genre hasn't seen much action lately, so it's kind of a welcome throwback. C&C itself is just kind of gone as a franchise, so it's no small comfort for me to revisit these old titles and find out they still hold up pretty well. Now, technical matters first. It's a big convenience just to have these games working on a modern operating system. Like, 1995 is right about when Windows wasn't quite a household name. When I first played it, I was still using DOS shell, like fumbling through config.sys and having no idea what an IRQ port was. That's how far back these go. I actually replayed this through the First Decade collection not too long ago, which, among other things, required fan patches and other tweaks to get working right. Even those didn't always work. Like, early game maps are like smaller than most screen resolutions, so you had like a Hall of Mirrors effect on the edges of the screen. Oh god, I try not to think about the frickin'... I don't even know what it was. It was some kind of like mobile... It was like some mobile tower defense game or something. It just... That series is just dead to me now. It's a shame. But anyway, yeah. Larger point, simple installers and push-button play game launchers are the light and salvation for titles like this. That alone makes it a pretty solid pickup. Hey, Rin, good to see you. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be mixing and matching a little bit here, because this package, obviously, is the original Command & Conquer and Red Alert, both given the same same uplift. And I'll show you all the last nod mission real quick for what I assure you are very important reasons. I saved just before the ending, but it'll be a good demonstration of the various gameplay improvements. So, let's get in here. Alright. So right away you can see some pretty obvious visual improvements. Actually, I'm going to slow down for a little bit. I do have a partial script I'm working with, but it's going to be some improvising here. Alright, no, we're good. So yeah, as you can see, the visuals are the most obvious upgrade. Spacebar switches between the classic look and the higher definition maps and models, and you can flip on the fly between the two. It basically looks like a ton of work went into reanimating every unit, every structure. You can zoom in and out. And while the 3D animation for these, like the between mission cutscenes, it's still pretty dated, the rendering and frame rate for the videos is vastly improved. There's an unlockable gallery that shows side-by-side comparisons with the originals, and it's a pretty big difference.
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Sir. Affirmative.
Our base is under attack.
No problem. Lurkers are welcome. Yep. What was getting hit over here? Actually, let me turn down the speed limit a little bit. Here we go. I wouldn't say I ever got good at
Repairing.
RTS, as a rule. I understood the basic terms. I can turtle up pretty well, but that's just not where the meta is, usually. Like, I always struggle to get a base rolling early. I usually fall victim to trying to move the tech tree up. Trying to climb the tech tree fast.
Yes, sir.
But they're still fun to play with skirmish mode. Let's see. But anyway, there's also a lot of quality of life tweaks to help the game feel more contemporary. Like, the original was old enough that build queues weren't really a thing. Now you can actually queue up several units to construct in a row.
Building. Unit ready.
And there's tooltips that now shows things like build times, power requirements, resource capacity. And some features in Red Alert were also backported into C&C 1. Like, you can load infantry into transports as a group rather than one at a time. In the original, the mini-map actually didn't show aircraft in flight. Now this properly... Oh, we got a... That's one of our guys. Now it properly handles aircraft. Now we can see that guy... That guy's hassling our harvester. So, we're going to need some anti-air on that side. I'm not sure we actually can. Well, we got these guys over here. Yeah, a lot of the meta you see in modern RTSs, especially stuff like StarCraft, usually favors aggressive expansion, like sending out your resource collectors to attack the enemy base, building defenses up nearby, that kind of thing. Command & Conquer wasn't really the exception. But early on, it was still possible to build up a proper defense and more play the long game. All right.
Affirmative.
Like, yeah, in the original, you couldn't really directly target incoming aircraft. You had passive defenses, and your anti-air units would shoot at aircraft who were close by, but you couldn't proactively target them. So sometimes, if they were sending in multiple aircraft, you would just fire at which one was closest.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was pretty jank for the time. And let's see. So yeah, many of the options can actually be toggled off in the settings here for more of a classic feel, but it's really, really hard to go back to some of those like 1995 settings. Like, just it is super, super nice to be able to just queue several units up at once, so you're just not sitting on a pile of credits. Oh, Hell March fucking rules. That's the other thing, and a significant feature that's deserves a lot of praise here: the jukebox. Now, Command & Conquer is practically defined by its music. Frank Klepacki belongs in an all-time list of great game composers. The implementation here is just fantastic. It's not a comprehensive list, but we're looking at over 200 tracks, 203 here, across the entire franchise, including signature ones from Tiberian Sun, Red Alert 2, Renegade, alongside the full list of the originals. You got remastered originals, covers by Klepacki's band, versions with and without audio clips from different releases. You can even create your own playlist, like I've done right here. Like you can see here, we got different versions of Hell March. This is very clearly a labor of love. The team doing this very much understood just how important music was to the series. Now, alright, let's get our team in.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Construction complete.
Yeah, it's
Building.
Renegade was special.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Obviously, it was clunky as hell for what it tried to be, but it was a fascinating attempt to mix. Oop,
Unit reporting. Moving out.
let's see, right.
Moving out.
They're out of at this stage of the game. They're out of ground units, but they still got some base defenses. So we want our choppers to stay close by.
Unit. Yes, sir.
Lost my train of thought a little bit. But yeah, Renegade was really cool. I liked what it tried to do. It was a fun ground-level take on the Command & Conquer universe. There was actually like a surprising bit of production value. Like they had some pretty good mocap for the cutscenes. The voice acting was generally enjoyable.
Affirmative.
It didn't quite give the feel of actually being in a pitched battle between GDI and Nod forces. Like there were mostly scripted encounters and you were doing pretty much all the legwork. Shit.
Yes, sir.
Those things are annoying. Advanced towers, rockets are damaging when they hit you head on. The main issue is that they're not terribly accurate a lot of the time, so they can fuck up an armor column, but they can have trouble with individual units. Anyway, let's send some tanks in. Time to pull the wick on this thing. Let's get our flame tanks going.
Moving out. Yes, sir.
You know what? That's a good way of putting it. It had a lot of the same mechanics. Oop.
Affirmative. Unit report. Acknowledged.
Alright. This is one annoying feature of this mission.
Insufficient.
The AI regularly spawns in infantry and sends them up in a chopper up here, even after all their other production on the ground
Yes,
is
sir. Yes.
destroyed.
Yes, sir. Unit reporting. Yes, sir.
Alright.
Unit. Yes, sir.
So yeah, it's a pretty tough final mission. We've worn them down to their last base, but
Unit lost.
juggling all the threats they throw at you is not a small matter.
Unit. Yes.
Exactly, yeah. It's... Or the engineer rush, or all the other silly little tactics you can do in this game.
Unit reporting. Yes, sir. Unit reporting.
Alright.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Moving out.
Unit lost.
Moving out.
Construction
Yes, sir.
complete.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Or one of my personal favorite tactics, sending an expendable unit to the north end of the map to draw the attention of enemy airstrikes. In the original game, the AI for GDI, they would occasionally get
Lost.
they get airstrikes from A-10s, and the player, when you played as GDI, you could get them as well. And due to simplistic handling of the AI, they generally targeted your northernmost unit. So a cheap and effective way to neutralize them as a nod
Yes, sir.
would be to just sacrifice a unit on the extreme north end of the map.
Acknowledged. Yes.
Alright.
Yes. Yes.
there's still some limitations to the old AI. You can kind of see here, when you're not handling their navigation directly, a lot of units still do that left-hand wall navigation where they're kind of circle around the edge of a wall or terrain and just gradually work their way up towards the area you're going towards. Oh, I forgot I had a stealth tank there. And that, of course, can lead them to getting chipped to death by a defender that happens to be on top of that hill or on the other side of the wall. The AI has a problem with the big picture.
Yes, sir.
So you kind of need to step in and micromanage.
Lost.
Alright, let's send in the rest of our forces here.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Choppers can start taking those towers out.
Waiting order. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it, fellas. Rain hell.
Affirmative.
Alright. Looking good, looking good. Let's move to the next thing here. Actually, let's put on something a little more upbeat. Let's say... Grinder, that's what I was looking for. Years on, and the Red Alert 2 soundtrack is still incredible.
Moving out. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Moving out. Yes, sir. Reporting. Got it. Waiting for knowledge.
I think we can put the speed back up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, okay.
Going back, you start to notice a lot of little things that I did previously. Like, the differences between games are a little more than just aesthetics. For instance, your harvesters in these games have to dock with a refinery and dump their payload in a very slow process. Whereas in Red Alert, your ore vehicles would immediately drop off their cargo. That seems like a small change, but it rapidly it affects how quickly you can turn incoming money into units in the field. So Red Alert tended towards more towards kinetic battles. It tended towards more quickly fielding units and more quickly responding to changes in the situation. There we go.
Unit acknowledged.
Pull the wick on that thing.
Ready and waiting.
They haven't really been firing the ion cannon for this.
Yes, sir. Moving out.
But unfortunately, at this point, we've already used up our one nuclear missile, so it's pretty much just mop up at this point. Hey, Branch, good to see you.
Affirmative.
Somehow that technician did not get, that guy Phil there, did not get torched by the flame tank. Oh, there he goes. Spoke too soon. Sorry, Phil.
Unit reporting. Yeah, okay. Yes, sir. Reporting.
He died as he lived,
Affirmative.
in service to a greater cause.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Ivory. Actually, we're about to show the reason I picked this final mission, the final nod mission to show off.
Mission accomplished.
I want you to sit back and just imagine my reaction to this being the ending to a video game in 1995. Yeah, Red Alert is still great. Alright. There we go.
Your efforts have landed us here, my favorite friend.
KANE lives!
The temple is complete, and we are about to
Yeah.
embark upon our greatest.
Well, there's
exploit.
still a bit of graininess around the
relax.
edges. It's definitely a
Watch
much
as my net
higher
removes
resolution than the
through
original
web of
video. And,
cyberspace.
you know, you have
Once
closed
inside,
captioning and such, and overall it
my
looks much more
fingertips.
slickly produced than it did back then. Red Alert 2
Yeah.
is also fun. They hit very different tones. Oh god, look at this. Look at this 95 set piece. Like, you can actually see the duct tape on some of the cyberspace chairs that they have there. Like, I think modern mods of, like, you know, it's like C&C 3 and such, they actually have people... You can basically make your own cutscenes now with you know, a modest amount of like makeup and set dressing and such. There was actually one called The Forgotten, I think, which centered on the mutants in Command & Conquer 3, why they weren't really present, and sort of gave them their own faction and their own campaign. Oh yeah, this is classic 90s depiction of cyberspace here. Yeah, this is exactly what like 15-year-old me wished hacking was like, and 40-year-old me. No, this is what 15-year-old me thought hacking was like, and what 40-year-old me wished hacking was like. So yeah, KANE loses 2 of his netrunners, penetrating the GDI's global defense network, but one of them gets through. And boy, do we get a prize for their bravery.
Welcome to the Global Defense Initiative Orbital Defense Matrix.
The GDI, one of the few quote-unquote heroic organizations to basically have their own space laser. So this controls the ion cannon.
The world.
And we
Where to strike?
get to target it.
Where will the world most keenly
Or pick the
feel
target.
blade of GDI treachery? You have done much to aid the Brotherhood towards this final victory. The choice, my friend, is yours.
So yeah, this game ends with you getting to fire the ion cannon at the landmark of your choice. The White House, the Eiffel Tower, the UK Parliament House, or the Brandenburg Gate. And normally I would put this up to a choice, but come on, how can we not pick the White House on your very first try? We are fragging the White House with the UN's own space laser. And then just listen to this absolute banger of a song that plays over the credits.
Angry political leaders of the G7 nations issued a formal statement denying complicity in last Tuesday's tragedy involving the most famous address in the world, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C.'s renowned White House. The death toll in what some are calling an unwarranted attack passed 600
That's one word
today,
for it.
as rescue workers and United Nations teams continued to sift through the rubble, unearthing 12 more bodies from what was once the seat of Western democracy. U.S. President Robert Fielding, safe at Camp David at the time of the explosion, reiterated his support of the UN statement, despite growing opposition to global defense initiative policies.
So yeah, the whole thing through the Nod campaign is that in addition to opposing GDI, you're also sort of waging an information and media war
GDI
against them.
Task Force Commander General Mark Shepard,
That's a recurring thing with them, that they try to essentially do war crimes and blame them on GDI.
Shepard, once the golden boy of international diplomacy, wilted under intense cross-examination from hostile senators demanding explanations for the blast that leveled the historic landmark and sparked an international debate on the need for more effective safeguards in the age of high-tech warfare. Defensive but
There we go.
unapologetic, Shepard admitted he had no idea how security access was to be.
Okay, yep, definitely can't headbang like I used to. Neck's starting to hurt. But yeah, That blew my fucking mind back in 1995. That song still rules. One other feature I want to point out. So yeah, in addition to modern multiplayer, you've got access to all the various mission packs and add-ons that were released over the years. You've got the Counter-Strike missions, you've got covert operations in this case. You've got the console exclusive missions that were released for the PS1 version. It's kind of hard to imagine this game getting a release on the PlayStation, but there you go. There are the unlockable dinosaur missions, which I haven't done yet. There was like a whole campaign where you fought dinosaurs. It just... This is as close to a comprehensive package as is going to exist for this game. And I would absolutely love if they did this for Red Alert 2 and Tiberian Sun. Let's see here. Right, so I'm going to switch over to Red Alert. That's technically a separate game, so the stream will stay up, but we'll be going screen dead for just a moment here. So yeah, now we're in Command & Conquer Red Alert, and I'm not going to lie, a game about an alternate history where the Soviets invade Europe hits it hits a little differently than it did, say, a couple weeks ago. God almighty. But anyway, other than the obvious, other than the obvious thing happening in Ukraine right now, what surprises me is that these games don't really feel dated thematically. This was before the Tiberium series grew into full-on future wars, and Red Alert just went hog wild with time paradoxes, but you can see where both eventually came from. They were actually linked by canon for a hot minute. Some of you might remember that KANE actually shows up in the Soviet campaign cutscenes, especially toward the end. Coming back to this older and at least somewhat wiser, I can appreciate the way they construct and unfold the plot. Like, your scope of action is narrow, and we'll play some allied missions for a minute. Your scope of visibility is narrow, and your victories are underscored by the sense of this world changing around you. In the original, there's these increasingly bizarre changes to Earth's biosphere by the thing you're using as currency, no less. And in Red Alert, they do time travel to literally kill Hitler. You don't get much say in that. Your problems are tactical, and the rest is above your pay grade. Yeah, exactly, Eyes. And yeah, that's the thing. RTS as a genre, there really have not been many... Yeah, here, we'll go through the allied cutscene here. There really have not been many things outside what Blizzard's doing, which honestly isn't much. They've kind of left StarCraft where it ended up with StarCraft 2.
Give me the sequence calculations.
Like I mentioned this at a different stream, but the most recent new property I can think of is Grey Goo, and
You're already done.
they did some interesting things with that plot-wise, but the campaign just felt kind of half-baked. Like, there weren't that many missions, the plot kind of sped along, there weren't many memorable characters, but there were interesting things about it that I wish had gotten a little bit more time in the oven. Yeah, Red Alert 3 was... again, I liked some of what it did, but it made the gameplay way too gimmicky with the AI characters, and the way every single unit had some kind of weird micromanagey thing. Like, obviously they had fun making it. I mean, they had an all-star cast. They had, like, J.K. Simmons, they had George Takei, David Hasselhoff shows up briefly, they had, Tim Curry. Tim Curry was the Soviet premier in it. And, yeah, I should have liked Red Alert 3 more than I did. Yeah, that's kind of the impression I got. The campaign was kind of perfunctory, and they sort of designed it as multiplayer first. I did like that the... Okay, yeah. So, obviously, we have taken out Hitler here.
Hitler is out of the way.
Congratulations, Professor. With Hitler removed...
Time will tell. Sooner or later.
I could probably up the volume a little bit when I get in game. I like that the subtitle says Hell March. Yep, we took out Hitler, and peace reigned throughout Europe. Things definitely did not get worse. What I distinctly remember at the end of Command and Conquer is they actually teased Red Alert and Tiberian Sun at the same time. Now, Tiberian Sun, they didn't have much more than just like a CG model of a walker being tested and blowing up some vehicles. But they did have this cutscene, which makes me think they had a pretty strong idea for what they wanted to do with Red Alert, even well into the development, even before development of Command and Conquer had finished. I know, isn't it? Isn't it great? I'm back in high school, man. You can also see that the overall quality of the 3D modeling in Red Alert is much better. They're more able to work with more complicated backgrounds, more actors moving around. They still had people in front of a green screen, but they had more... They had a lot more set dressing. They got a little more experimental with the things they were having the actors do.
Commander?
The last transmission?
Oh, 900 hours. Since then, nothing.
Perhaps Einstein escaped?
Too much to hope for, General. He would have contacted us by now. This is classic.
Hey, Tanya.
I sent for her.
General von Essling, she is a civilian.
That's why I don't get killed.
Commander, this is Tanya Adams, a professional volunteer.
Our very 90s commando unit.
Somewhere inside this research center,
yes,
the Soviets hold Albert Einstein. We need him back immediately.
Yeah, campaign hits the ground running. You basically get a
Einstein out.
easy mission to demonstrate how Tanya works, and your goal is to blow the place up and free Einstein.
Point for immediate evacuation. Be careful. The base is heavily fortified, but not invincible.
Their weakness is power. Black out the base and nothing will stop you. Good luck.
Oh, it's good to be back. Yeah, Red Alert is really kind of where the series got its sea legs. You had maps getting larger, you had more elaborate event triggers, resource delivery was faster, superpowers, and there were, like, information warfare options, like Fog of War was a significant issue. You could actually, the Allies had a gap generator, which was especially useful in multiplayer. Oh, I'm actually going to drop a save real quick. Why not? Let's go full ham. And yeah, the jukebox options still hold. You can play songs from Command & Conquer 1 in here, along with the whole other set list. Oh, I completely forgot about that. I did not remember that, no. Like I dimly remember some issue, and Red Alert 2 would have been produced right around that time, that it would have been kind of that it would have that controversy would be plausible, but yeah, I completely forgotten about that. Let's play Depth Charge.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, one significant change, Tanya is an actual hero unit. In Command & Conquer, you still had your commando unit who could instantly kill infantry and blow up buildings, but he could still be overwhelmed by ground infantry, whereas Tanya, she can kill enemy soldiers as fast as you can click the mouse.
I'm there.
Reinforcements have arrived.
And she can pretty much solo this mission. You gotta watch for the Tesla coil.
Signal flare. Detected from the north.
There. Let's rock.
Alright. There's Einstein.
What's up?
One slight issue is I don't think she can be put in guard mode.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yeah?
She will retaliate if fired upon,
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
but you do need to watch out so that she's not overwhelmed.
Incredible.
Acknowledged. Agreed. Yeah? What's up? There. I'm there.
We've got some NPC battle cruisers firing on the base off map on the south side.
Let's rock.
Man,
Let's rock. Let's rock.
get you a woman that looks at you the way Tanya looks at some undefended buildings.
Mission accomplished.
And note that she does not consider ground troops to be defenses. That's just target practice for her. Oh, if only, man. I'm just gonna say that informed a lot of my tastes in women. I'm just gonna confess to that, all right? I like him violent and kill happy. Alright. Why not? Hey, you know, someone's got to fly through space on the banana as well. You know, the thing is, I was a bit late to the party as far as space games went. And honestly, Zero, you were my point of reference for a lot of stuff like Homeworld, and yeah, it's... This is why you made friends with other people that had other consoles than you. Like a lot of my PC games, a lot of my hobbies for PC games were informed by having a friend that had this, that got big into PC games, and I only had like an NES myself. So some of the stuff he showed off, like adventure games, strategy games, and such, was just kind of mind blowing. Ivory gets it. Ivory knows. Oh, man. Remember the mothership.
Soviet aggression has increased 10
I was actually thinking about going back and playing through Cataclysm, which got re-released as
You did a fine
Emergence.
job rescuing Einstein for us. No.
I don't think I ever actually finished
counting
it,
on
but the
you again.
Mandalore video on that reminded me of just
One
how
of the
good
passes
that
we
is.
used
There's
for a supply route
so
has been
very
blocked by
few
Durrells.
instances
A convoy from
of
the
strategy that
434
use
is
like
too full in a
horror
matter
as the
of
backdrop.
hours. It's the supplies they carry.
And yeah,
critical
that
to our
game
war
absolutely
efforts.
deserves modern
Because
up-resing, but it's nice to
what
it's
we
nice to
have in
have it
that
just
area
as a
to work
GOG
with,
version.
Not
That's
much.
so it's just
And
not lost to
is
time.
against us.
Right? Yeah. Thanks, Blizzard.
You will have to make do. Clear the pass, so the convoy can get to safety.
Yeah,
Their
it
lives
is.
rest in your hands.
It is a perfectly structured horror movie that just happens to be a space strategy game.
Mission timer initialized.
All right, that's right. This one.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Okay. What cutesy name?
Mission saved.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
Why not?
Yes, sir. Moving out. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
Another significant change over the original medics. These did not exist in the original game. Your troops were living on borrowed time. The Soviets still don't have access to them.
Yes, sir.
Construction complete.
But now the Allies can make their soldiers last a whole lot longer.
New construction options.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Oh yeah, it's an immensely quotable game.
Reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Like, I actually rewatched that cutscene with Bentusi late in the game when you're trying to stop them from leaving. That is just incredible voice acting right there. The captain utterly nails that.
Very well. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. At once. Yes, sir.
Alright.
Reporting. Ready and waiting.
Medic close by.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Yeah, Homeworld is just such a great series, and
Affirmative.
I know it kind of fell off the. It kind of fell off the.
Construction complete.
What's the word I'm looking for? I know the quality dropped sharply with 2, and
New construction.
Yes, sir.
I understand having reservations about 3. I share those myself, but if they could recapture even just a little bit of what made those original games special, it will be a very welcome.
Reinforcements have arrived.
It will be a very welcome addition, especially now. Oop,
Acknowledged.
shit.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Like, I liked 2 overall. It was perfectly fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Medic reporting. Affirmative.
It just,
Building.
I don't know. I think, for starters, I think the acting was a little too wooden in comparison to the original. There are little things about it that, with the benefit of hindsight after having played the first game, do kind of stand out as not quite as memorable.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Yeah. It's like any property that gets revisited after a long time. Oh, I never did build a barracks. Damn it.
Reporting.
There's a natural trepidation to
Yes, sir.
what the company is going to do with it now, and
20 minutes.
it can sometimes seem a bit superfluous,
Reporting. Reporting.
Building.
or
Reporting.
just someone trying to make something out of a property they own but don't really understand.
Construction complete.
So I get the concerns and I share them to a degree, but also yes, I do want to see how that turns out, and I very, very badly
Yes, sir.
want it to be good.
Construction complete.
All right. So yeah, we're limited in terms of what we can make here.
Training.
No extra vehicles, just infantry.
Agreed. Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit
Very well.
ready. Training.
We don't even get radar, unfortunately.
Building.
Yeah, exactly.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Training.
Like, that was my attitude
Yes, sir.
when Deus Ex got Human Revolution. That was my attitude
Unit
when
ready.
Max Payne 3 came out. And,
Yes, sir.
you know,
Affirmative.
results are going to,
Unit
opinions are
ready.
going to vary. For the
Ready.
most part, I was reasonably happy with both those offerings. But we all know that it doesn't
Unit
always
ready.
result in a happy ending.
Yes, sir. Knowledge.
Ore silos just give you additional ore
Construction
capacity.
complete.
Like, if you arrow up here, you can actually see the amount you can store, which wasn't a... which they didn't really tell you in the first game. Like, they tell you how much
Building.
the ore silos would store in, like, the manual,
Construction complete.
but in-game, you sort of had to figure out how much they could keep on your own. And now, thankfully, all you gotta do is arrow up to the tooltip.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Yes, sir.
Right, for this mission, we have to... Actually,
Affirmative.
let's get that medic down here.
Reporting. Agreed.
Let's get them down here, too.
Training.
Acknowledged. Agreed. Awaiting order. Affirmative. Awaiting order. Awaiting order. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
The Soviets do have a base around here. You can actually see we hit the edge of the map pretty early. Like I said, the very early missions were often smaller than some screen sizes.
Ready.
So before the remaster, you would run into situations where replaying the old games,
Moving out.
you'd basically hit your
Unit ready.
your screen would show past the edge of the map, and it would just be absolute hell on your monitor.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Training. Insufficient.
Yeah, that was a notable difference. That was a notable change in future strategy games, where making more making more barracks, more war factories and such directly increased your troop production levels.
Moving out.
Whereas in here, it basically just gives
Unit
you
ready.
it
Training.
basically just gives you another spawn point. Though I think
Building.
I think in this case it
Unit
does
ready.
actually slightly increase your production speed. I'll pump out another one. We'll take a look.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Ready and waiting. Well. Reporting. Very well. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Medic reporting. Reporting. Very well. Affirmative.
Damn Ruskies around here somewhere, boys. Get ready.
Reporting. Affirmative. Waiting orders. At once. Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
The main limitation here is they're going to have tanks and we
At
won't.
once. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting orders. Medic reporting. Reporting. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Agreed. Affirmative.
I think there's actually a village around here where we can get some money.
Of course. At once.
Maybe.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Ah.
Agreed.
Construction.
Oh
complete.
shit!
Agreed. At once.
Alright, here's a surefire way to get some
Very
trouble.
affirmative. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
This will get their attention.
Yes, sir.
The AI usually responds in force to their harvesters being threatened.
Vehicle affirmative.
Oh hey! Speak of the devil.
Affirmative.
Actually, we can't build engineers yet.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. At once. Very well. Yes, sir.
You know what?
Yes, sir.
Bust that wire open.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Medic reporting out. Affirmative.
There we go. Yeah, if anything, games like this radically overstate the utility of tanks in rough terrain. Like, they're they're obviously incredibly useful in dealing with enemy armor, but what these games often gloss over is the sheer logistical headaches that are involved in fielding a large army with a lot of moving parts.
Ready and waiting.
All right.
Reporting.
Like for every tank you deploy, that's a set of treads that has to be maintained. That's fuel you have to worry about.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Like there was like if you want to compare invasions, like
Affirmative.
there was a lot of build-up involved in
Unit lost.
before the U.S. invaded Iraq, which obviously was a terrible, terrible idea.
Acknowledged.
But the point is, the U.S. still prepared for it extensively, and you still had things like tanks being stranded because they didn't have fuel and they outpaced their supply trucks and such. The point is that heavily armored vehicles are not terribly useful in an urban setting or against very mobile insurgents.
Affirmative.
But they are cool as shit. That is one thing this game gets right. It is legit, it is genuinely fun to just build a lot of tanks and steamroll them from one end of the map to the other. Anyway, I think once we blow up this last building here, or once we take out the last Soviet unit, it should end the timer prematurely. Exactly, yeah. Surely nobody would fail to plan for an invasion, right? Surely.
Convoy approaching.
Here we go. Oh yeah, Apocalypse tanks and Red Alert 2 were awesome. I also love the battle fortress from from Yuri's Revenge on the Allied side, where you just had this like Scottish-sounding commander. We will trample our enemies. Nothing can stop us. Oh, hey. You know what? Why not? Fuck your oil. We're here for explosions. Fire for the fire god.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, take that, Russian road sign. I mean, we probably could have used that to figure out where we're going, but whatever. Alright. Let's see where we are next. You know what? Actually, let's... Well, we'll start this next one here. I think this is a commando mission. I think this might be Tanya solo running around blowing stuff up. Yeah, here we go. Intelligence recon shows heavy Soviet movement in your area. Nearby bridges are key to Soviet advancement. Destroy all bridges ASAP. Tanya will assist. Keep her alive at all costs.
Yes, sir? Yes, sir!
Yeah, so in this one, you basically have to go through...
Let's rock!
And...
Let's rock! There!
Deal with enemy opposite... Deal with enemy soldiers.
Yes, sir! Chew on this! Medic reporting.
Free whatever assets you can.
Moving out.
And destroy a bunch of bridges. You know what? Let's back out and let's show off one more thing real quick. Let's go back to the main menu.
Battle control terminated.
Because like I said, this does include all the various mission packs. Oh, no, that's the skirmish mode. And yeah, you know, you got the Allied and Soviet missions. You can pick whatever mission you want to play after you clear it. You got the expansions, which are Counter-Strike and Aftermath. Aftermath is interesting in that it actually added multiplayer units. Like, the Soviets got this, like, suicide tank that actually did half damage to every vehicle in the area, and if you just stacked them up, you could unleash utter hell on enemy formations. The Allies got this teleporting missile tank that... The Chronosphere was, like, selectively useful. You could only get, like, a single unit behind enemy lines and move stuff all around. But these units had their own internal teleportation devices and were much more generally useful as offensive instruments. But this is the one I want to focus on here. The infamous Ant missions. Now, these were originally a secret in Red Alert. There was, like, a hidden option in the menu, like an invisible button you click on, and it would just give you a campaign prompt. But there was an entire sequence of missions where you got a mix of Allied and Soviet units, and you fought giant ants like it was some 50s horror movie. It was awesome. So yeah, we've lost contact with one of our outposts. Before it went offline, we received a brief communique about giant ants. We're unsure of what to make of this report, so we want you to investigate. Scout the area, bring the outpost back online, and report your findings. If there is a threat, reinforcements will be sent in to help you. Keep the base functional and radio contact open. We don't want to lose the outpost again.
Ants? Is this some kind of a joke? You got ants in your pants? Call an exterminator. I'm on vacation.
Huh, I didn't see this
How
before.
big? Casualties? What do you mean the southern perimeter's been compromised? Listen up, soldier. If we lose England, it's not going to be to a bunch of pinko ants. I don't care how big. Look, I don't care how you do it, son. I'd piss on a spark plug if I thought it'd do any good. You just tell your men to get out there and kick some ass.
Oh, man. I don't remember this. Like, Carville was from Red Alert 2. This didn't really have... Yeah, this was the starter cutscene. Yeah, General Carville was from the sequel. So, they must have, like, shot that at a later point and included it, or maybe there were, like, secret ant missions in the second game. Huh. Either way, I learned something today. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, we got a handful of boys.
Awaiting orders.
And somewhere out there, we got some giant bugs to kill. Let's put on something appropriate here. You know what? Bigfoot. Why not? We'll put on the Tiberian Suns version.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
And speaking of games that use kind of a horror theme, they rather nicely
At once.
delay a bit before showing you the ants, if I recall right. It's a fair bit into the mission before
Vehicle
you're actually
affirmative.
put up against any real opposition.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Agreed. Reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting orders.
That was actually
Agreed.
something I really liked
Yes, sir.
about the movie Them, which I think is the specific movie that they're
Reporting.
parodying here.
Awaiting orders. Very well. Awaiting orders.
Like, they actually go quite a while before showing the giant ants, and, you know,
Agreed.
it was made in, like, the
Yes, sir.
1950s. The special effects are going to be very limited, so they wanted to...
Yes, sir.
Make,
Affirmative.
they wanted to...
Acknowledged.
You know,
Affirmative.
they didn't want to show them off unless they absolutely had to.
Yes, sir.
But they built up the mystery of what these things were.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, here we go.
Agreed.
Now we hit the base,
Mids.
and we have to hold out.
Preparing. Preparing.
Hold out against what? We will soon see.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Recall right, there's a ore field somewhere down here. Oh shit, here they come.
Reporting. Affirmative.
We got big boys.
Unit lost. Training.
Oh hell.
Affirmative.
Unit
Of course.
lost. Unit ready. Training.
Yes, sir.
Shit.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Start harvesting ore, brother.
Training. Unit ready. Insufficient funds. Mission saved.
All right.
Awaiting orders.
So yeah,
Affirmative.
now we got to hold out for about 28 more minutes. 28 minutes game time. I do miss games having a speed slider. I don't remember if that was ever an issue in like modern StarCraft or anything like that, but being able to crank the speed when the game slows down and you're just harvesting ore and such, that was a nice touch. And being able to slow it down and make more considered tactical decisions.
Acknowledged.
Oh shit, I lost my Jeep. Oh fuck.
Unit
Okay,
ready.
yeah. Well, we're about to get skull fucked.
Unit ready. On hold.
Actually, we should probably get an ore truck out there first.
Yes, sir.
Training.
Yes, sir. At once.
Cancel. Building. Our base is under attack.
Oh fuck.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Oh shit. Oh hell.
Reporting.
Unit
Oh, that's bad. They blew up our ore harvester. Okay, no, we need to guard that thing. Oh man.
mission loaded.
Yeah, even on normal, some of these
Yes,
could
sir,
be
at once.
pretty devious.
Ready and waiting. Affirmative.
You know what? I want you guys to go down there and guard that thing.
Affirmative. Reporting.
You guys are just gonna have to make do up here.
Yes, sir. Very well. At once. Reporting.
Yeah, some of the final missions could be absolutely diabolical. They just start you with maybe a handful of units and up against an absolutely unfair amount of opposition.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Unit ready. Reinforcements.
There we
Ready
go.
and waiting. At once.
Yeah, no, you're going down, buddy.
Unit ready.
Oh, of course. You know, you,
At once.
you always get
Very
that
well.
one moron
Agreed.
recruit that gets right up on the giant monster,
Vehicle reporting.
thinking they're gonna 1v1 it.
Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Very well. Very well. Affirmative.
Unit
God damn.
Reporting.
Okay, yeah, these things don't fuck around. Alright. We need to save up for an ore truck.
Acknowledged.
Not gonna be easy.
Reporting.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Homeworld was funky about that.
Yes, sir.
Like, I forget if it was the first game or second game where you were actually encouraged to
Ready and waiting.
like sacrifice or self-destruct some of your forces so it would affect the starting enemy deployment. I think that was the second game.
Affirmative.
Oh shit, we got fire ants.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Ooh, fuck.
Insufficient
Agreed.
funds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well,
Shit.
sir.
Fellas, you're missing the forest for the trees here. Okay, yeah, it was one of those games, I remember. God almighty. Alright, we're on a glorious mission to retake our homeland. Some of you need to die.
Prepare.
Or homeworld, I should say.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
But you know what? A good enough presentation can make it acceptable to get through jank like that. And that's exactly what Homeworld has going for it.
Prepare.
Like, even some of the more questionable story stuff in the second game was still generally backed up by high production values. And really memorable music. Like, I still have the...
Yes, sir. At once.
The music that plays when you fight... I think they're called the Keepers or something. One of those really powerful, fast-moving... ancient ships. That's, like, guarding this one derelict wreck you have to look for. Not the swarms of them, but, like, the singularly powerful ones. Oh, shit! No, no, no. Not my repair pad. Fuck you, fire ant.
Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Oh, man, this... Keepers, yeah, that's them.
Yes, sir.
Alright. Desperation time, boys.
Affirmative. Agreed.
Yeah, I distinctly remember the music for fighting those things.
Preparing.
And honestly,
Preparing.
music in general has always kind of moved me in a way that raw presentation of a scene has not. Oh, fuck!
Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Speaking of moving me.
Yes, sir. Very well. Affirmative.
The base is under attack. 20 minutes remaining.
Acknowledge. Reporting.
Jesus, fuck.
Unit
Reporting. Of course. Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
God damn, we are getting absolutely destroyed here. Alright, we'll try one more time to wind the clock back. And try to make more... Actually, what I'll do... I'll
mission loaded.
Restart the mission. I'm going to take a quick look around the map and see if there's any resources we can get first. There might be like a supply crate we can grab that'll make this somewhat more tolerable.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. At once. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Ready and waiting.
But this I do remember. The ant missions, they pile on the pressure pretty hard.
No, affirmative. Awaiting order. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Reporting. Agreed. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Does it?
Very well. Awaiting order. Acknowledged. Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Might be mistaken. This is a fairly small map. And most of the enemies just spawn off-site.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting order. Affirmative.
Nah, screw it. No guts, no glory.
Affirmative. At once.
New construction options.
Alright.
Timer started. 30
Yes, sir.
minutes.
Here's what we'll do first.
Building.
Yes, sir. Very well. Agreed.
Immediately get a second ore truck up. Actually, you know what?
Preparing. Our base is under attack.
Ah, you know what?
Hold.
We'll get more
Cancel.
rangers up.
Building.
Problem is that we need to mass fire on these things before they take down what few units we can build.
Preparing. Preparing. Preparing.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Alright. I want you guys to hold that side of the base. Actually, we're going to take the... unfortunately, we don't have a construction yard, so we can't build pillboxes. They really start you behind the 8 ball on this one. But we can do.
Yes, sir.
Fuck!
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge.
Unit ready.
Acknowledge.
Building.
Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Yeah.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yeah, this mission don't play around. We're doing a little better this time, though.
Mission saved.
Alright.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Base is
Reporting.
under attack.
Yes, sir.
Much better.
Acknowledged.
Alright. So here's what we're going to do. I do remember that we can mine this area. Surprisingly, these things do get taken out by anti-vehicle mines.
Reporting.
Alright.
Affirmative. Awaiting order. Very well.
So if we can just get this guy up.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Alright. These kind of hold-the-line missions always were my bane in
Affirmative.
strategy games. I always kind of had a hard time adjusting.
Yes, sir. Awaiting order. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unfortunately, their AI isn't terribly intelligent
Waiting order.
either.
Waiting order. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
I think that was a General's thing. Also, unfortunately, we can't build engineers.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Yeah, I dimly remember what you're talking about, but I think that was C&C Generals, which I kind of have a soft spot for. You know what? Like, I low-key think that game is a bit more like subversive than it's given credit for. Like, superficially, it's obviously using the global war on terror as set dressing. It's basically war
Yes,
porn.
sir. Affirmative.
But when you look at what actually happens in the campaign, like,
Preparing.
America in the expansion gets its ass kicked. Like,
Yes, sir.
you play as them first, then you play as the GLA, essentially kicking them out of Europe. Then you play as China, taking over the world.
Affirmative.
It's
Acknowledged.
interesting things happen there, and I don't know if that's intentional or some kind of commentary or what. Exactly, yeah. The GLA was fun. Like, they're so obviously evil, but they also get some really entertaining toys.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes! Haha!
Reporting.
Get fucked, Fire Ant.
Under attack.
Yes,
Shit.
sir. Yes, sir. Reporting. Affirmative.
Hey, can we focus a little bit here, guys? Come on.
Unit ready.
Vehicle reporting.
Yeah, I love that you could give the
Affirmative.
the GLA workers some shoes, and that would actually remove the line. And that was their upgrade to move
Awaiting
quicker.
orders. Affirmative. Report acknowledged.
Yeah.
Acknowledged.
This game, it's still you know what? Love is when things can still surprise you even years down the line.
Acknowledged.
And that is something these games are very much capable of doing.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
I do wish there was some way to automate mine laying, but I understand why the
Affirmative.
implementation is what it is in this
Acknowledged.
game. There's a fair bit of micromanagement to putting those
Training.
down. There's only so much you can do about that.
Unit
Yes,
ready.
sir.
Training.
Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Training.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Base is under
Affirmative.
attack.
Acknowledged.
Shit.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
20 minutes remaining. Unit lost.
Shit!
Yes, sir.
Fellas, respond!
Ready and waiting.
Oh,
Very well.
man.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Your proposal has been accepted.
Building.
If indeed the ants could
Vehicle
speak.
acknowledged.
And you know what? I think they would just to spite me.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Alright.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Alright, we're just gonna have to double up on
Reporting.
guards here and
Building.
hope we can hold out long enough.
Reporting.
Save again. Yes, overwrite.
Mission saved.
Reporting.
Insufficient funds.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Okay,
Affirmative.
slight problem here. I don't know if there are other oil fields or
Reporting.
ore fields.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
We're gonna have to go hunting.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Don't blow that up just in case we need that. Although that
Acknowledged.
might... I don't know. I don't know if that's this helps us in any way.
Acknowledged.
I do like that that's an option.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Like that also is something I don't think you could do in the original Command & Conquer. Blow up bridges. There we go. Okay. Now, problem. There are probably going to be ants around there. So...
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
We're going to have to at least try to screen.
Affirmative.
Mission saved.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
So far, we're good. I do see we've got one more coming in there, down there. Nice little D. Oh, shit. Nope. That's an RTV, boys.
Affirmative.
Haul ass.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Our base is
Oh, come on, guys. Can you show a little bit of awareness here?
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Fuck me. All right.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Exactly.
Yes,
We're going full Starship Troopers on these things. Fuck the bugs.
At once. Yes, sir.
Okay, we need to replenish the minefield down there. Nice.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting order.
insufficient
Acknowledged.
funds.
Acknowledged.
Cannot
Acknowledged.
deploy here.
Remember the name of the town that those
Affirmative.
bugs dropped the rock on?
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
That ironically I can't remember the
Affirmative.
name of.
Affirmative.
Somewhere in South America, I think.
Affirmative.
Put on something with a little more pulse to it. Oh, decisions. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, one of the few remastered tracks from Renegade.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Very
fuck!
Well. At once. Very well.
Shit! Okay, no, we're screwed.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Damn it. Yeah, fuck you, ants, indeed.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Alright.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Our base is under
Affirmative.
attack.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle.
All right.
Affirmative.
Here we go, so far so good.
Reporting. Vehicle. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Long as we're talking giant ants. Another thing I remembered distinctly about the original, about the movie Them, it's like weirdly progressive for its time. Like, it's one of the few movies where these scientist types aren't looking to weaponize the threat, they're actually just trying to destroy it. Like, they actually recognize how dangerous these things are and are working with the army and police to stop it. The police, while they initially are outmatched, they're not wholly incompetent. They follow proper investigative procedure, they don't rule things out. They're, like, genuinely trying to be helpful. The army isn't, like, just straight up going to... The army isn't jumping to nuke them without cause. Like, they're actually trying to rescue civilians in areas where the ants are attacking. Like, it is weirdly optimistic for a 50s sci-fi kind of sort of horror movie, but still in kind of a cheesy way. Oh, shit.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Like, there's actually a sequence where a woman scientist has to dress down a couple cops telling her to stay out of this. Like, the male lead is like, look, this is no place for you or any other woman. And she's like, listen, I don't have time to educate you guys about insect pathology. We need someone down there who actually knows what the hell we're dealing with. So we can tell if we need to... if this is the only nest, or if there are others out there. And it's, like, kind of shocking for a movie of that era. When it was very much...
yes, sir. Acknowledged.
When, you know, when stay in the kitchen was very much an accepting mindset.
Affirmative.
Yep, okay, we need to repair that.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
But yeah, really good movie. Richard Attenborough was that. What's being... oh, shit.
Yes, sir.
Shit!
Yes, sir. Reporting.
They're attacking the radar. No, that doesn't mean give up on the refinery, you idiots. Fucking goddamn bugs. Okay, we're gonna reload one more time. They can think.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean they can think? They're animals.
Reporting.
Technically insects, sir.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Oh, perfect timing.
Affirmative.
Nice work, Mind Layer.
Acknowledged.
Oh, that's just crazy talk, guys.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Cannot
Affirmative.
deploy here.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Next, you're going to be telling me insects think.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
And, like, form societies and make war.
Insufficient funds.
Reporting. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Okay, slowly we're getting there. There's going to be an attack in a few minutes.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Honestly, just
Affirmative.
field the whole
Affirmative.
thing
Acknowledged.
with mines.
Acknowledged.
Just mines everywhere.
Affirmative.
Fuck the Geneva Convention. We're
Acknowledged.
dealing with giant ants.
Acknowledged.
Our base is under attack. Preparing.
Nonsense. That's just crazy talk.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Awaiting order. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Actually, you know what?
sir.
Let's fix you
Awaiting
up.
orders. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting.
Unit lost.
Fuck.
Preparing.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
These poor brave souls.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Training.
Affirmative.
Unit prepared.
Reporting.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Training.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Okay.
Affirmative.
Clearly the biggest pressure is over here. Let's
Yes,
reposition
sir.
some guards.
Affirmative.
That's what I'm thinking.
Awaiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Oh, shit. What is it attacking there?
Affirmative. Awaiting
Silly, silly thing.
Affirmative.
Ah, fuck.
Vehicle reporting.
Great.
Ready and waiting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice little detail.
Very
The
well.
infantry are actually too light to set off vehicle mines. So they can freely walk over
Insufficient
anti-vehicle
funds.
minefields.
Unit
Oh.
ready.
Good catch, thanks, Eyes.
Building.
Sneaky.
10 minutes remaining.
We got enough problems with giant ants. We don't need robots in this mix.
Mission saved.
Alright.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Getting down to the wire. If we can just keep them from blowing
sir.
up too many of our
No.
vehicles.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Agreed. Awaiting orders. Very well. Reporting. Acknowledged.
Then we may be able to hold out.
Acknowledged.
Actually, toward the end, what I'll probably do is I'll sell the radar dome for some fast cash.
Reporting.
You can kind of see the jank pathfinding and work of the harvester here. It's not taking the shortest route back, it's just kind of taking a very circuitous route around the mountains rather than taking something safe. So you do have to watch what your troops are up to whenever you send them in a particular direction. I see you guys.
Vehicle reporting. Awaiting or knowledge.
Alright. Hold that
Yes,
thought,
sir.
buddy.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders.
Ah, good call.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Much obliged, friend. Much obliged.
Affirmative.
Alright. 7 more in-game minutes. We got this.
Acknowledged. Vehicle
Preparing.
reporting.
Oh, shit. We got a bunch of them coming in.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Preparing. Our base is under attack. Preparing. Unit
Vehicle
prepared.
reporting.
Nice.
Insufficient funds. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Of course, now we're down to the last 5 minutes. Do I have enough for a mine layer? Not quite. Alright, we're just gonna have to watch that corner.
Mission saved.
Reporting. Awaiting orders.
Warning. 5
Vehicle
minutes
reporting.
remaining.
Easy does it. Watch for ants up there, Harvester.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
We need a cutesy code name for these guys. Like, you know, the Germans were Jerry. The Vietnamese were Charlie. What do we call the Soviets are Ivan? What do we call these guys? What do we call the ants? The zombies are Zeke in World War Z.
Warning, 4 minutes remaining.
Leggies, yeah, there you go.
Vehicle reporting. Waiting order. Affirmative.
Sir, Leggies coming in mass north side and south side.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Bloody hell, coming in force.
Affirmative.
3 minutes remaining.
We need a good last minute song here. I'll play Grinder again. Why not? Shit.
Acknowledged.
Building. Our
Affirmative.
base is under attack. Preparing. Unit lost.
Oh yeah, we got hungry boys inbound.
Reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting
Unit
orders.
lost.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Vehicle.
Building.
Affirmative. 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 Reporting. Affirmative. Ready and
Warning,
waiting.
2 minutes remaining.
Affirmative.
Insufficient funds. Unit ready. Building. Our base is under attack.
We got one more push coming in from the north and the east. Yep, we got more spicy leggies. It might have been a bit before Paul Bettany's time, but they did a pretty good job with it. I don't know who the actor is, but
Warning,
they're a pretty good
1 minute.
advisor
Yes,
in
sir.
place of Eva. I do appreciate that's the same advisor for the Soviet side. They get the same British guy.
Unit ready.
And they did some kind of fun things with the advisor in subsequent games. Like in the Firestorm expansion for Tiberian Sun, GDI actually has to steal an EVA unit for plot
Reinforcements
purposes.
have arrived.
And for the rest of the game, their
Vehicle reporting.
advisor is the GDI advisor.
Reinforcements have arrived.
And you know,
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
hey, our
Yes,
boys
sir.
made it.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, yeah, yeah! It only took me, what, 5 tries? Who would have believed it? Giant ants. Now that your MCV has arrived, we must evacuate the civilians in this area. They don't stand a chance against these ants. There are 2 villages in your immediate area. Locate them and evacuate the civilians of the island in the northwest. You'll also have to take out the bridges in this area to stop the ants from completely overrunning you. You must destroy the bridges and evac at least 1 civilian from each town for the mission to be a success. Homework 1 is to use dynamic difficulty. Egregious if you min-max missions. And 2... 3 would be an utter pain to complete without losing all cryo chase. Yeah, it's dynamic difficulty is one of those things that can be kind of tricky to balance, and once the player understands how it works, can be easy to game. It's not. I don't fault the developers for not necessarily making an ideal system.
Options.
I think they did it. There are probably better ways to implement it, but I understand the decisions they made, and it happens. Anyway, what else to save here?
Mission saved. Battle control.
Yeah,
terminated.
Homeworld was a special experience for a lot of reasons, and I never actually got that good at it. It was always just kind of something I sort of had to not quite save scum my way through, but like I did with the ants, just basically save a lot and pull back when it felt like I'd kind of made some decision that screwed myself over. But anyway, yeah, that's the Command & Conquer and Red Alert remasters. Like I said, it's a very, very good bundling of some very old titles that are very difficult to get working now. They've added a lot of very cool features that make them accessible in a modern context. It's, like I said, it's about as comprehensive as you're going to get for these titles. They're still very fun to play. They're still very enjoyable. There are things about the plot that I think are still relevant even now, even before we had the not Soviet Union, but still the Russians now invading Eastern Europe. there's a timelessness to good design I appreciate, and that's something that the original Command & Conquer games had in spades. It makes these games feel like my fanboy brain remembers them, and I really appreciate a remaster that can pull that off. It's not easy. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a good night. I will obviously see you Saturday to finish up Yakuza. We'll be off next Sunday. And I will have the poll for what will be following us. I'll have the poll for what will be following Yakuza up for the final stream there. Alright, let me stop recording, and we'll see who's available for rating.